I know I've been hammering the whole YouTube membership thing pretty hard recently, but recent events and goals have caused that to become a real necessity. Let's talk about why YouTube membership matters. Hello one and all, I'm M4J, and I'm here to once again talk about YouTube memberships. Yeah, I know, I'm talking about them yet again, but there's a very good reason for this. When this video releases, we'll be less than 2 weeks away from this channel turning 11 years old. Last year, the channel celebrated its decade by finally getting monetization back after a gap of 4 years. At the time, I thought that would be a springboard to push things on going forward, allowing me the opportunity to try new things and really push on as a creator. In terms of existing content, that has worked out quite well. Where I used to be happy if a video reached 50 views, they now hit 200, which I'm absolutely elated about. Thumbnail quality has also gone up, and thanks to my new upload schedule for 2024, along with recording videos over a month in advance of publishing, I feel a lot more relaxed about how the channel is developing. However, life always has a habit of sneaking up on you, and in my case, it's a sudden technological realization that's brought me here today. You see, my current PC has been the backbone of the channel since I first built it back in 2019. This PC is actually the fourth I've used in the channel's history, with every single video bar a handful over the last 5 years being recorded, edited and uploaded using this setup. That also includes all of the streams in that time, and even the graphics you've been seeing at the start and end of videos since January. While the old thing has done me well, it's been showing signs over the last couple of years that it's been badly in need of an upgrade. Sadly, last month was the breaking point. That was the first time where I had to concede that I could not get a new game to run properly without the frame rate tanking. For those of you interested, the game in question was Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, which I'll likely be reviewing later in the year for the day job, so I really needed to get it to run. Realising that my PC can no longer run modern games forced my hand, with parts for a new PC arriving within the week. That PC now sits proudly under my desk, alongside the old girl that got me here in the first place. That old PC isn't being retired, it's just being slowly phased out onto the older, easier to run games like OpenTTD. Now the good news is that having a new PC means modern games like City Skylines 2 are now back on the table for the channel, as is streaming frequently again once the summer heat goes away. The bad news is that PC parts don't grow on trees, and that brings me back to YouTube memberships. Now this is the preachy part, so I apologise for the next section of this video. YouTube is great in that it provides consistent and usually high quality content, and that's what I strive to achieve with M4J Gaming. I create a minimum of 2 videos a week covering a mix of series and games for you all to enjoy, with the goal for this year to increase views further while also hopefully reaching 2,500 subscribers. This is on top of a full-time job, which as you can imagine takes up a lot of time. Unfortunately, continuing to produce these videos is starting to get more expensive and time consuming, particularly as my ambition rises and the equipment I need to achieve those ambitions gets pricier. The camera I'm using for these talking to camera sections is actually borrowed from my partner who happens to be an amateur photographer, otherwise I'd still be using the low-res webcam you've seen in previous vlogs. The point is I'm asking for your help, if you can, to support the channel moving forward. My old PC made editing videos take way longer than it should, with my ancient 2060 graphics card no longer up to the task of rendering things quickly. The new PC fixes that problem, guaranteeing faster editing and rendering times while also allowing me to make more graphics and animations to improve things further. As this channel is part of my business though, it does need to start paying more of its own expenses. In the past, this hasn't really been a problem, as my other work was able to subsidise things, but this recent purchase has eaten more into my house budget than I'd have liked, and therefore ended that run. This is where you all come in. I've had a Patreon for quite some time now, with supporters coming and going over the years. I've appreciated every penny from every person who's joined my Patreon. My awesome patrons currently supporting me are credited at the end of every video, while the money raised has allowed me to run the Somerset MTR server for the last few months. Now though, I need things to ramp up just a little bit more to help keep the channel sustainable. I understand though that people need an incentive to support the channel, so I do plan to reward everyone who signs up. My Patreon has 6 tiers with their own perk rewards, and this is one way to help support the channel. but what I really want to push is YouTube memberships. 3 tiers of what, in my opinion, are low monetary amounts are available for people to join. All 3 tiers have rewards in both OpenTTD and Minecraft, including access to the Somerset MTR server, while the top tier also gives members early access to videos on YouTube up to a month ahead of release. Members of all tiers will also get their names included in any and all series across a wide range of games, be it a named train in Transport Fever 2, or a citizen, street, or maybe even a building in Somerset. I hope these tiers are enticing enough to encourage people to sign up, especially since the poll I ran before I set this all up suggested people would sign up, although that hasn't really happened yet. In all honesty, I hate having to ask like this, but I really would appreciate any support you can offer. I want the channel to start to pay for itself, preferably without needing to make cuts to keep things cheap and cheerful. If you have any thoughts on the membership tiers, whether that's the price being too high or the perks not being tempting enough, please do let me know in the comments below. I want as many people to sign up as possible, so I'm happy to make changes in order to achieve that. There is also the super thanks option for those who just want to make one-off payments if that's more your thing. Of course, these are just as valuable as memberships, and I'll be very grateful to anyone who chooses to go this route instead. Okay, now that part's out of the way, let's talk more about how the money will help the channel. New PC aside, I want to continue upgrading the equipment I have in order to produce the best videos I can. This means a new microphone along with a non-borrowed camera for streaming and for talking to you like this. That'll boost the quality of the audio and the video, something that started to bother me more in recent months. I also want to invest in some multiplayer servers that my community can play on, both as part of video series for Patreon supporters and channel members, as well as for some casual after-work chill-out time. Somerset is the first step towards that goal, with the M4J network next on the list once I have the first few channel members through the door. There will also be other games featured depending on what the community wants to play, but until we've hit the first goals, I won't go into that too much. There are also the software costs needed to edit videos and create thumbnails, and of course the upkeep of the M4J Media website. Finally, you remember those editorial videos I wanted to make that I talked about at the start of the year? Sadly, the time for making those has evaded me since I first pitched the idea to you, but having more support for the channel will give me both the resources and motivation to actually crack on with them and get the first couple in production. The subjects they cover are still very relevant in recent times, so I'm eager to try them out and see how well they do. Oh, and of course, any financial support received for the channel allows me to continue buying new games to make videos on. Modern gaming can be a very expensive hobby now, especially with the price of games continuously increasing, so any help to expand my library is always appreciated. I want to make being a member of M4J the best experience it can be, and as always, I'm willing to make changes to the tiers to keep everyone happy. For now though, I ask you to check out the membership information, and, if you can, join up today and give a little back to the channel. You can find the link to the details in the description below, or click the join button next to my name under the video. It doesn't matter which tier you join, any and all support would be greatly appreciated. I'm also scrapping the idea of waiting for perks, so the day you sign up is the day you get your rewards, and this applies to Patreon supporters too. So sign up today and help M4J continue to grow. Thanks everyone, I really am grateful to you for taking the time out to watch this, especially if you do become a member as a result. Have a great evening, and until next time, I will see you soon.